Hello. I hope I don't blow out everyone's eardrums. I'm gonna be honest. Long day, first day back with the kid out of the hospital. It just felt like a glasses day, no contact. So if you see ring lights, there you go. There you go. How is it going, guys? I know it says 9:36 Central Time on my end, right? I know it says 10:36 for a lot of y'all. What time is it? What time is it? Spam in the chat. Do you know what time it is? Because I think it's Heim time. I don't know about you guys. I think it is Heim time at the highest degree right now. Corey Heim with his 4th win of the year. There you go. It's Heim time. It's Heim time. It's Heim time. Yes, Corey Heim proving once again. We're gonna go through this conversation probably another 4 to 5, 6 times the rest of the year. Yes, it is 10:36 for Wizard King Nick. We're gonna go through this a lot this year. The same conversation that Corey Heim should be in the Cup Series. I mean, that team, driver, all of them, best of the best. Again, just absolutely dominant run. 98 laps led for Corey Heim today in his victory. Fastest lap as well. 4th win. Looking at the stages, swept the stages too. I mean, max points day for Corey Heim, who gets the win by 6.229 seconds. This race was the 2025 North Carolina Education Lottery 200. Say that one 3 times fast. It was 134 laps, 3 cautions, 20 laps, 1 hour, 33 minutes, 37 seconds with 14 lead changes. Corey Heim time again, getting that win with 98 laps led over the field, but 6.229 seconds to Ross Chastain, the Melon Man, in second. Best he can muster was second. Caden Honeycutt, another solid top 5 run today. 3rd place finish. Lane Riggs in 4th. Kyle Busch in the 5th spot. Grant Enfinger 6th. Matt Mills 7th. Daniel Hemrick 8th. 9th, Raja Caruth, getting back on track for Raja so far this year. Brandon Jones, a 10th place run. Jake Garcia comes home in 11th, and 12th, Tyler Ankrum. Those are your lead lap finishers tonight. Then you have Stuart Friesen with a lap led, 1 lap down, though, of the pace. Parker Kligerman, 14th. Then 15th in the Spire 07, BJ McLeod. Get loud for McLeod. Decent run for him, all things considered with this one. You got Perez in 16th. 17th is Ben Rhodes. Fenhouse in 18th. 19th, Timmy Hill, who finishes 1 lap down as well. 2 laps down for Matt Crafton in 20th, Gio Ruggiero 21st, and Stephen Parsons 22nd, Mosak 23rd, Spencer Boyd 24th, 3 down for Jack Wood in 25th, 4 down for Tanner Gray 26th. After that, you got 8 laps down for Frankie Muniz in the 27th spot. Mason Maggio will finish 11 laps off the pace, and 13 off the pace for Cody Dennison in 29th, and 30th, Tony Breidinger. Out of this race in 31st was Dawson Sutton, and the last one running on track, 31 laps off the pace, was the 98 of Ty Majeski, caught up in a wreck during this race. Justin Carroll in 33rd, and Chandler Smith last in 34th. Let me know in the chat if I'm spelling somebody's name wrong. I totally get it. I probably have. I will fully admit, not maybe 100% when it comes to the analytical side of things, the following of all of it. Just, yeah, Malcolm in the rear. Yes, Frankie Muniz, not a great run. But I want to know what you guys think of this race. Out of 10, what did you think of the truck race tonight? And while you guys are grading that, I like this question. Was Harvick better than Jamie Little? I would say in the degrees of knowing what was going on, yes. Harvick is not somebody who I want doing play-by-play. But I'll take it. I will take it. So the fact that I was actually happy hearing Kevin Harvick, who I think is nowhere near qualified enough to run a broadcast like this instead of Little, I think says enough right there. That yes, I think that he's that step better, even if I don't think he was good. Looking at what people are saying in here, we have 6.5, 8, 5, 7, 4, I believe, is here from Lightning. 7, 5, 5, 6, 6.9. Nice. 8, 6.5, 6. There's so many more I'm seeing through here. Personally, I was probably going to say about a 6 or so. Got spread out. Dominant guy won. But again, the guy who deserved to win this race did win it. Corey Heim was the best of the best. The race was for second. Chastain, Honeycutt, Riggs, and Busch, I think, had solid enough trucks. I think next year, when Heim is not in this race, hopefully, because I don't think he deserves to be in the truck series. He deserves to be higher than this. There would actually probably be some pretty good racing amongst those guys, but that 11 team is the best one out there. Heim is the best driver out there. And because, I mean, like I said, I'm looking through here and my notes are pretty simple. Short race, kind of just shoved into a Friday night time slot. So not too many people really think too much of it. And I'm looking at it, and Heim was immediately going for the lead right off the bat. And again, leading 98 of 134 laps. Like, yeah, of course he was going to go for it right off the bat, but had a really good duel with Ross Chastain for a lot of it. Ross, I think, was the best competition for Heim. And you see it shown at the end of the first stage with him finishing second to Heim, then Riggs, Honeycutt, Busch, Ruggiero, which again, Gio Ruggiero gets some seat time underneath him, get a little bit more experience built up over time, and make sure that those trucks last and the luck is good. I think that 17 team will be really good towards the end of this year, but definitely next year. Hemrick in 7th in stage 1, then Chandler, Smith, Majeski, and Mills, your top 10. Stage 2 was just defined to me by the battles. Honeycutt leading up front. Kyle Busch right up there as well. Ross Chastain, of course. And of course, Corey Heim getting the win at that. But that's why I don't think this is a bad race. I think a lot of people are going to see the way it finished, how it had a long green run, was an admittedly dull finish, and say that was a boring race. And I disagree with that. I disagree because I think that, being a straight up race doesn't make it boring. And the first half of this race, the racing for the lead and through the pack was top notch. There was bump drafting guys down the back straightaway to get them to the lead. There was the crossover moves at different points. Ross Chastain racing Corey Heim. That is something we could see on Sundays in a year or two. We're going to see probably on Sundays a few times this year. So, I get people not liking the finish. I get the final stage being more dull is going to leave that taste in your mouth. But I really think a 5 or a 6, a kind of middle of the road to maybe kind of decent race, I think that honestly it was that. I know it's not fun to come on here and sort of just be kind of milquetoast about it, but it was just a milquetoast race. It was not a race I think that's worthy of people getting upset at or saying how boring it was or any of that. Yeah, I agree. The first half was the strong half. Like, let's be honest. If we're judging the second half of the race, it's probably a 4 or so. Straight up, but just kind of dull. But if you, again, take that first half instead of the second half being that kind of dull, when you take that first half, I think the first half was like a solid 8 out of 10, maybe 9. I mean, the racing was great. The battling up front, you really didn't know in the first stage who was going to win. You knew Heim was the better one, but he could definitely get got. And I think that's something that you have to have in a dominated race to have some kind of intrigue. I agree with Wizard King Nick here. It was solid, not the greatest, but it was solid. I agree. Sometimes people do freak out when someone like Larson dominates, and domination is going to lead to people getting upset at it. But I don't think this is one that really should fall into that category. Looking at that final stage, I mean, again, I tell you, I got the notes that I leave every week, and that's the second page of notes. Like, there really wasn't much to the end of this race, especially once you got past the green flag stops. You had the 3 wide battles for the lead, because at one point the 45 would get pushed to the lead against the 11. You had Chastain taking them 3 wide and battling with Heim. And again, that was the fun part for me, was Chastain and Heim going back and forth at each other. And yes, NWP will be on Thursday on Eric's channel because he's coming into town. We will be here all in person. And we always try to make some kind of attempt each year, if we can, to have an in-person show. It's the best way we could possibly do it. We'll be back to normal Wednesdays after next week. June on, we should pretty much every week be on Wednesday like usual. Figured I should say that right now. But that battling early on in the run, you did have the crash, of course, which I believe the 17 got involved in. Got loose 38 into the 98. I believe it was 17. I didn't see, and I will be honest, taking care of the kid, so I did miss that kind of 5-minute segment when they showed the replays. But it looked like just racing deal. Somebody gets loose and gets into somebody else. And unfortunately, the 38 and the 98 are taken out in it. The 81 as well of Mosak got a lot of damage. Fox, funny enough, didn't even show him on the involved list. And it just, again, it shows one week you can be the absolute best out there and win the way that Chandler Smith did. The next week you can be elevator drop right to the bottom. Now, I want to bring some stuff up. I want to bring what you guys say up as well. And I agree with this. Lane Riggs did look strong in this race. Again, top 5 finish, racing up there with the leaders, racing with the best of the best. I mean, he beat Kyle Busch to the line. That's saying something. I don't care what you say. Kyle Busch, even now, I think personally past his prime, is still in the truck series a formidable threat and somebody that has that experience, has that talent to get by you and stay past you. So for Riggs to do that and have a pretty much just normal, calm, tranquil day, not get into any controversies with anyone, not get into any kind of issues, not have any kind of problems that would overshadow what was, in my opinion, a good race. That's the stuff he needs. He needs to build that up over time. Next week at Nashville, Michigan, those kind of races, just some very clean, green, and respect earning races, I think, is exactly what the 34 team ordered. And getting a top 5 tonight, staying out of those issues, exactly what he needed from this night. Looking towards the final restart, Heim got the lead over Ross. He never looked back. We did have green flag pit stops with about 30 to go that shuffled up the field. There were different strategies, or at least different runs on the fuel. But with it going green, with there not being any major problems, 15 to go, Heim cycling back to the lead, you knew that unless there's a big crash, a caution, or a flat tire for the 11 or something gremlin-y like that, you knew that Corey Heim was going to get the win of this race. And that's exactly what happened. He skirted off, like I said, I believe it was a 6.229 second win. And he earned every bit of it. It's chalk, it's stale, it's kind of boring to think about in that aspect. But outside of maybe a race or two here or there, the truck series this year to me has been a pleasant surprise of how clean it's been, that there hasn't been these kind of stupid bonsai moves, people intentionally wrecking, people intentionally taking, themselves out to make a caution, like we have seen in recent years from guys who are now in the Cup Series and Xfinity Series. So I get in the moment being like, man, I don't know, that was kind of dull, and I get it. If it's Friday night for me, I'm spending it watching a race. Like I want to see a damn good race. It's my Friday night that I'm talking about here. I want to have something that'll keep me entertained with that. But in the bigger scale, the bigger picture of all of this, when you look at how we talked about the truck series 2 years ago or so, how we talked about them going into last year, 2, 3, 4 years ago, really the post-COVID truck series. And it was looked at as a laughing stock, and rightfully so. The truck series, in my opinion, was egregiously stupid and terrible. And now you see that I think that changes and words and pushes in the garage to try and clean this up, I think have worked, in the lower series in general, outside of like that Martinsville race and maybe some issues here and there with some Xfinity races, like one truck race or two. It has been pretty clean, green, respectful, and good racing. And I thought tonight the racing itself was good. The way the race overall ran out was the part that, unfortunately, for some at least, was dull. But the best guy won. The guy deserved to bring the trophy home, will do so tonight. And I'll say this, man, you got to get him to the Cup Series. At bare minimum, he should be running full-time, fully sponsored Xfinity ride at JGR, top of the line equipment. But I really think he should be in that 35 right now in the Cup Series. I think Corey Heim would be a top 20 driver, or borderline top 20 driver. I certainly don't think he'd be. I mean, where is Herbst in points right now? Like, I have to look this up right now because I don't even have it on me. Riley Herbst is 32nd in points. He hasn't had a Brad Keselowski. Hang the banner on that one. Cole Custer, SVG, and Cody Ware. But can we really say that Corey Heim wouldn't be ahead of Noah Gragson with how that team's run this year, or Ty Dillon, or Eric Jones, or Justin Haley? Can we really say he wouldn't run better in a lot of races than Ty Gibbs, with how bad Gibbs has been and how up and down it's been of late, but especially bad the start of the year was? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we'd see a lot more top 15s or so, maybe a few more top 10s. I think that at the minimum, he'd probably be around a 25th place driver, which is better than what the 35 is doing now. Like Heim to the 35 Cup for it, then Herbst to the 18 Xfinity. You know what? I think he'd do really well in that. So Walsh the 11 in trucks, be iffy. Walsh has shown promise though, so. And I get Ty Gibbs, 100th Cup start Sunday. He has a lot of good. And I don't think that, I'm not saying replace Ty Gibbs. I'm just saying I think Corey Heim could run about where Ty Gibbs runs, especially when problems don't happen. So, there's a lot of moving pieces, the Toyota ladder, the politics of it behind the scenes, not like actual politics, but like the drama and all of that. Well, come on. We got to do the justice to these guys that are really damn good, man. We got to have these good drivers moving up into top tier rides when they earn them, getting championships, having championship level performances at least. Nowadays, championships aren't really indicative of who should move up, but unfortunately, yes, it is the money. It is the money that is going to pay some of these guys way up. I'm just hoping that Safe Flight money maybe can start paying a little bit better. At least top tier at the next series. And I think that's a minimum of where Heim should be. When you guys in the chat got Corey Heim as your pick this week, I thought they got the win. They got the win. There's no way that Heim doesn't win this unless there's some kind of problem, even with Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, and others in the field. No way. I'm sorry. It is no way. And yes, I did see Byron did sign with Hendrick till 29. We'll talk about that on NWP this week with Eric and Danny, of course. And we'll probably talk about it a little bit after the Cup race, because Byron will probably be a big factor in that in some way or another. But overall, man, I thought this was a decent race. This was a decent enough race. Had fun with it. There was intriguing storylines through it. You did have your wrecks if you wanted them. You did have your good racing for the lead and restarts if you wanted them. You had your fuel mileage talks if you wanted them. And you had your clean racing if you wanted it. If you wanted a demolition derby, if you wanted a barn burner to the finish, those polar opposites of what we want and don't want, you didn't get those. But all things considered, I'm okay with it. I'm excited. I mean, looking at the truck series too, and their schedule coming up, I really think this is one of the most interesting fronts. You have Texas, Kansas, Wilkesboro, and Charlotte 4 in a row. You just had Nashville next week, and then Michigan, which is the longest damn name for a race I've seen. It's the DQS Solutions and Staffing 200, powered by Precision Vehicle Logistics. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races till the playoffs. I don't have those points on me right now, but I have a feeling they've gotten a bit closer with Raja finishing as well as he did. So there's a lot of intrigue and interest, I think, that you can have with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series this summer. And there's a reason why I'm saying I think consistency wise, it's been the most fun series to watch each week because there really hasn't been horrible duds, and there's been some pretty good racing. Looking at your super chats real quick. Let's look at what you guys got. Now, I did not see the ARCA race. Bringing the kid from the hospital took precedent over that, and then getting situated and all of that. So apologies if you're asking or talking about ARCA. I see a few of them in there. Just letting you know, did not see them. Now, Andrew Winslow with the 2 says the low cow is Cletus for his rookie mistake. I did hear there was a rookie mistake from him. Did he finish top 10 though? Where did Cletus? Let me know, because I did not watch the ARCA race. I didn't have the chance to. Where did Cletus McFarland finish in the ARCA race? I thought I saw him top 10 on one of the replays, but I did not see it. 9th. Okay, so I was right. We finished 9th, so decent enough. The Charlotte ARCA fields are usually pretty big fields, so there is that. Sly Supersonic for the 576 says Harvick needs to know the difference between a butt whooping and a cheek clapping, because Corey Heim clapped some cheeks tonight on that racetrack. He very much did. I mean, that was an ass whooping. That was an ass whooping. That was cheek clapping. That was everything with it. Which is exactly every week what I expect from Corey Heim. I expect this performance every week from him, and I know he does as well, so I think it's not unrealistic. Napa Racing Fan for the 2, and then has a 5 right after this for the 2, says, it's past my bedtime, but it's Heim time. I like that. And then for the 5 says, Joey Logano, I have the dumbest job in America. I race in circles for an empty cup. That's pretty dumb. Bread is getting stale in the booth, in my opinion. Yeah, kind of. I mean, Joey's Joey. When he goes up the booth, you know what to expect. He's not been the greatest, honestly. But at the same time, it's not like he's the worst of the worst. I have had the displeasure of seeing and hearing way worse people, or at least way worse performances up there than that. Groovy Goose for the 2 says, ever played the lottery? Again, I had a lot of the race on mute getting stuff done. So I apologize if they said something in the booth, which quite frankly, most Fox Sports 1 broadcasts, I wish I had on mute. So I guess I was living out a dream. But I've done lottery games. I agree. We need hosts of R in the booth again. Race Hell Praise Dale for the 5 says, what's your take on the rumors about Kyle Busch staying at RCR? Do you think he can bring success to the team? So, there was real smoke to this. There's probably fire somewhere. I think that him staying is not necessarily him staying long-term, is more evaluating the options and realizing not making the mistake that he made after 2020 or during 2022. Where jump off ship. Now, I don't even think that was much a mistake as sponsorship too with that, but not making a mistake of repeating the same cycle of events. Because if he leaves RCR, what's really out there that's better? What is there for Kyle Busch and Cup that's better than RCR? Running mediocre or running mediocre in the back of that side of it? I think that's the real question he has. Do I think he stays long-term? No. Do I think he brings success to the team? He'll be better than probably most other drivers when they bring in there. But in my opinion, RCR is a C-tier team. They are a middle-of-the-road average team. They are just another team out there. And with Kyle Busch, they have a spotlight on them. But I don't think in any way Kyle Busch is going to turn this team around. Maybe they make the playoffs. That's about it. But and that's if they don't change it. It's such a low bar nowadays to make it if you get a win. And I think Kyle Busch can get a win. So do I think he'll get a win by the end of his RCR tenure? Yes. But I should write that down as prediction for this week. KFBW RCR 10. There. I will make that a prediction on the podcast this week. So hopefully Danny and Eric aren't watching so I can surprise them with it. If not, there you go. Don't make that prediction because it's there. But I don't think there's anything special about Kyle Busch at RCR. I really don't. I think he's just another driver out there now. I think that team is on the lower end of just another team. I think he just doesn't want to go further down the ladder and just piddle away his career the way that other champs have and other good drivers have. You don't want to, because Kyle Busch is, in my opinion, not going to ever again hit those peaks that he had before. But he still could be good. But with being 40 years old, going to be 41 next year, the time's running out for good Kyle Busch to come back. Not great, just good. And he's not good right now. So, there is all of that to add into it. Finishing off tonight, we will be live after the Xfinity race tomorrow night before the Coke 600. So it kind of between Indy and Charlotte tomorrow, and then after the 600. Cannot wait to see what Prime has to go on Sunday, I should say. Can't wait for CW and Xfinity to be back. I've missed the Xfinity broadcasts. Can't wait for all of that. I appreciate you guys staying up with me on a Sunday night. I appreciate you guys dealing with me maybe not having everything quite in order just yet with the whole bring the kid home thing. Fully appreciate your understanding for it. And it should be better once we get back into a rhythm of things. Can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. Gonna be a lot of fun. And y'all have a good night. Get some sleep. And let's go Xfinity racing tomorrow, y'all. Later.